cheesy balls.
Lidl's finest.
That's what I had at the end of Boxing Day, that cheesy balls. I didn't move all day. Do you know what? I think, what was the first kick-off? It was United. United was the first game against Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the year.
And I must have needed a piss in like the 25th minute. And I didn't go until the end of the game. I just thought, I'm not moving, because if I break the seal, that's it. It's just going to be an uncomfortable fucking afternoon, evening and night time of constantly going back and forth to the toilet. I was desperate at full time. And because we were trying to push for a third goal as well.
Yeah, I am annoyed at that result. I'm more annoyed at it now watching West Brom nick a point against Liverpool.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, that frustrates me as much as that Arsenal game.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was there for the winning, but
I thought about that Arsenal game before. Like, that's a big... You know what? If that ends up costing us anything at the end of the season...
Well, there's a couple that we've had. We've had the Arsenal game where we've said it numerous times. We let them beat us. Like, they didn't do anything in that game. It was our fault that we lost. The Chelsea game where they just sat and defended, and it was the most boring game in the fucking world. And then you can add Palace, which I'll blame on the lack of pre-season, but Palace should not be coming beating us 3-1.
No.
And then you can add the Leicester game to that as well. Like, we could, if realistically we're in a title challenge coming the end of the season and we fall about 4 or 5 points short, we can look back at them games and think that's where we've lost the league.
Well, I think this is where we should start tonight, because I don't know what's wrong with the media, but I don't think anyone wants to admit that United are in this title race.
No.
We are absolutely part of this title race now. Now, there is no one more shocked than I. I am utterly shocked that we are even within touching distance after 14, 15 games or whatever we played. Like, no one wants to admit and get the hopes up more than me that we are in the title race. But you've only got to look at the table and you've got to look at our next few games. I mean, if we get a result here against Wolves, it's on.
Yeah.
It's very much on. And the game against Liverpool, the first one in January, is it January? Start January. That becomes a massive, massive game in the title race.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Clive Tilsley, because Clive Tilsley is doing the Amazon commentary, said it at kick-off. It was like, United are back, United are contenders again. And that's the first time I've heard a pundit or a commentator say, we're fully in this title race. And it is a bit insulting, really, when you think about it. Like, if this was, like, City is still considered second favourites. Chelsea are more favourites than we are. We're ahead of them with two games in hand, is it?
Oh.
Like, how? I mean, we'll get on to Frank Lampard in a bit, but yeah, I don't think we'll win the league. But if we win tonight, now more than ever, we are in the title race. Absolutely, we are in the title race.
Jesus, I mean, when was the last time we beat Wolves? Do any of you two know when the last time it was that we beat Wolves in a league game? I don't think it's been for a while. Not Old Trafford, anyway.
I don't know.
No, was it the last time they was in?
I'd love it if he is.
I don't think it was, I think we drew. I think we drew against Wolves the last time.
No, we beat them last time in the FA Cup. But then the last 3 times before that was a 0-0 in the FA Cup, so it went to a replay. And then a 1-1 in the league. And then a 2-1 to Wolves at Molineux in April 2019. And my Apple was yours the last 5 games. So you're going back to at least 2018, and I don't know if we beat them then.
No, was that the first season they came up?
It might have been, yeah.
Because I know that we drew 1-1 at Old Trafford that season.
They've been in 3 seasons, haven't they? Now this is the 3rd season.
I think we drew at Old Trafford 1-1 that game. Sure it was.
Wolves are a fantastic team. Wolves are an example for any team that have come up from the Championship of how to tackle the Premier League. All right, they've had financial backing. they had players like Jimenez and Neves in the Championship, which is obviously a massive advantage because those two are absolute world class. But it's hard to make that transition. And they've reached Europa League last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Mean feat for a team that's only been in the league 3 seasons. We've seen teams like Hull come in and do it and then absolutely fail. Wigan, Leeds started the season off unreal and now they've dropped off again. I know they've absolutely battered West Brom tonight, but it is only West Brom. They're no mugs, Wolves. I just think they're really, really struggling without Raul. And they're obviously going to, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't think, do you know what? I don't think he'll play again.
It's difficult, isn't it? Difficult.
I think he wants to play again, but I think with everything that's going on with the concussion protocol at the moment and protection of players and heading, and he's had a skull fracture. Yeah. Like, it's not like Petr Cech where he was protected in net and he could wear his helmet and stuff. 60% of Raul's game is heading.
Yeah. Like, you look at who was that kid from Wolves, not Wolves, Hull a couple of seasons ago, Ryan Mason. Exactly the same, didn't he? And what did he retire? Was it 25 or something like that?
25, yeah.
It's,
I don't think he wants to retire, but I have a feeling that the doctors will force him to retire.
You know, it's Petr Cech. The thing with Petr Cech is you're a goalkeeper, you know, and and he's, I mean, remember Petr Cech? Stephen Hunt won it. Rebel. And that was bad fucking tackle. That. I mean, it wasn't a bad tackle, but it was the aftermath of it. I genuinely thought one of the only times in football I've ever seen something happen and thought, fucking hell, you might die. It's that bad. But you don't believe it. Now, as a striker, you can't tell a striker not to head a ball again. You can't do it. No. You're trying to do it at the moment. We'll try not to get too political with it because it's quite been an awful lot more because of the class lawsuit going on in rugby at the moment. With like ex-players as young as, I think one of them was as young as 38 and he started getting signs of dementia.
Yeah.
Madness, absolute madness. And you've seen it in football as well. Oh, Rashford with the touch like a rapist. That was awful.
Oh.
What the fuck? That was Timo Werner-esque.
I know. That was a heavy touch. That he should have done better with that, Rashford. We're starting to see it now. Like players of different sports coming out and saying, you know, there's got to be changes and stuff. It's a bit difficult in football because how can you say heading out of football?
You can't.
You can't. I mean, you can. This concussion substitute, I quite like that. I think that's better than what we've got in place at the moment. Like that David Luiz. Like I know David Luiz gets forgotten about because of what happened to him and his. But what was David Luiz still doing on the pitch?
Yeah, the fact that he passed that concussion test to be let back on the pitch is just ridiculous.
Nothing. And what's a concussion test, really? Do you know what I mean?
It's following. Can you follow the finger?
It's pissing. In certain sports you can't do it in, like boxing and kickboxing and combat sports and stuff. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. Like you can bring in better medical testing and stuff like that, but you can't avoid the actual sport itself. With football, though, like even though it's not built in that you have to head a ball all the time, it's a massive part of the game. It's a massive part of the game. Have you even heard of it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can because what would you do? Just play no over at 8?
They brought
Can you imagine being a goalkeeper for 15 years and then they tell you, oh yeah, you can't hit it long unless it doesn't go over the player's heads? Can you imagine?
Well, this is what they're saying. They're saying from goal kicks and stuff. Like they're talking about ways that they can negate like the amount of times that players head the ball. And goal kicks was one of the ones they were talking about, where they were saying like maybe we need to have a look at goal kicks and every goal kick from now on has to be short. And it's a bit like, yeah, but you're always going to find a way around that. You have a short goal kick, you send it out to a defender. What if he plays it long?
Yeah, but then you lose crossing, you lose corners.
Yeah.
Fucking throw-ins. How many times does a throw-in get flicked on with a header? Like, you can't. The game has to change completely.
Yeah.
To get rid of it, and it's too. The game's been going for too long. Like, you'd have to wait for the. What age has it been banned from now? It's under 11s, isn't it? Maybe a bit older. So you're looking at them, that age group there. You'd have to wait till all of them are professional for it to be the new game without heading. So we're talking 8-10 years, and you'll still have pros. Like, you'll still have Marco Rashford will still be playing 8-10 years, and he's been heading all his whole life.
Not the way he not the way he did it against Leicester.
No, just as I fucking said that, I realised that miss happened.
that was a gilt-edged opportunity. I was like 2 minutes into the game as well. It's a difficult.
Hey, he put Cavani on that.
Yeah,
it's 1-0.
1-0 all day.
Oh yeah, we go on pace if that fucking goes in.
Oh yeah, to start a game like that. We did come out fast against Leicester, but it was quite an interesting start though against Leicester because for the first 20 minutes it was just slobber knocker. Like, it was one side to the other, to the other, to the other. We were quite lucky that they didn't score some of the chances that they had. Harvey Barnes, what a goal for the equaliser, the first equaliser, fantastic goal. Then he goes and does it again. Like, did you see his goal? Was it last night?
Yeah, brilliant finish. Really good goal.
How has he got a shot off from there?
I rate him, mate. I think he's a really, really good player.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I think he's got a lot of potential.
Is he English?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's having his best season.
Yeah.
In terms of goals and assists, I think, as well, this year so far. Well, I think he's only 23, I think.
Yeah, he's young. He's not as young as I think we all think young is, but he's got his best years ahead of him, definitely.
I mean, he's no Mason Mount, though, is he? I'm sick of people shagging Mason Mount. He's bang out.
You know what? You've just said that, and somewhere in London, Frank Lampard is wanking right now.
Hey.
And Gareth Southgate.
Somewhere in the changing room right now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's wanking because we were just talking about scrapping crossing from football because of head damage.
Oh, my Christ.
Difficult, isn't it? Mason Mount's bang average. And do you know what? I think Frank Lampard's bang average as well. And we'll talk about, because this is the big, like, talking.
Is that bubble burst now?
He's not had a. I mean, is that
Lampard bubbles burst? But
is that stat right? He's not had a win against a top 10 team all season.
I think it is.
Did they beat West Ham? Where are West Ham? No. They beat West Ham the other week, didn't they? 3-0 or whatever it was.
Yeah, they did. You're right. Yeah.
And that's when he won.
No, but they were higher than that when that result happened. They're fucking shit. And he's a shit manager. But I'm sorry, I'm going to put it there. If people want to call Ollie a PE teacher, then Frank Lampard's a fucking geography teacher.
West Ham are 10th, so apologies, correction. I'll correct myself. They've not beaten anyone in the top 9 this season.
West Ham were higher when that game was played. That was during West Ham's good run of form. The wank, mate. His tactics are awful. That I think that draw against them pisses me off more than the loss against Arsenal.
He was there for the taking. Chelsea weren't doing anything that game.
And do you know what, right? I am sick of people sucking off Mendy. He is wank.
I mean,
he is just as bad as Keeper. Did you see him tackle fucking Pulisic in his own box yesterday?
It's quite bad, that, yeah. I can't defend that. I mean, he's better.
He had a few good games. He had a few good games when he came in. And I think everyone was just like, right, the shine's off Kepa. We've got this new keeper. And he's made a few comfortable saves. Lee said it the other day, didn't he, in the chat, saying he had a really good game against us. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
The 2 saves he made, I would expect any goalkeeper in the world to make.
No, having said that, he made 1 save I'd expect him to make. The snapshot from Rashford, that was...
No, I'm sorry. I still expect a top goalkeeper to save that. I expect Fabianski to save that.
Come on, mate.
It wasn't nothing. It was nothing special.
Mate, Fabianski couldn't save a Word document, let alone a fucking snapshot.
Listen, there's a reason why he got to age 28 playing for Nantes and no one came and signed him. If he was that good, someone would have got him beforehand. He was a panic signing because he realised how wank Kepa actually is.
How much did he spend on him?
20 mil, maybe.
I mean, today's
70 odd million on Kepa, so, balances out a bit.
It's bad, isn't it? 70 million on a goalkeeper.
Like, 70 million on Alisson for a keeper that changed your team completely. Fair enough. 70 million on a keeper no one had ever heard of playing for Athletic Bilbao, who has turned to fucking shit.
I mean, it's difficult. I'd never even heard of him before. I mean, you've got to be. I mean, if someone goes and spends 72 million on Jan Oblak, you can understand that. The guy's proven. He's proven world class. But Kepa, I mean, can't even pronounce his second name. Still can't pronounce his second name. He's played in England for a season and a half, 2 seasons. I don't know how to say it.
I pride myself on my knowledge of foreign football and the Spanish league probably being the main one. But even I was scratching my head when that news broke that they'd paid 72 million for Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Did you see that post? Social media? There was 3 players. I can't remember. So it was Kepa, Pepe, and there was another one. And it was pretty much just like, if a club says to you, we want 72 million, do you not pay that price for a player? I can't remember who else it was. It was Pepe, Kepa, and someone else who cost 72 million. I cannot remember who it was. Oh no. 75 that was, wasn't it? For free on. In English tax. Nah, Maguire's not been bad, has he? I mean, statistically speaking, Maguire's one of the best centre-backs in the league.
Yeah. He's definitely showed up the defence. He just needs a stable partner. I was saying to my mate earlier tonight, we'll go back to Chelsea in a second, but Eric Bailly, this is his 3rd game in a row. This is fucking...
That's unheard of. That is unheard of.
He has got everything to be a top-class centre-back. But I just know around the 60th minute tonight, he's going to get an injury.
Or he's going to lever someone.
Or he's going to lever someone, yeah.
Mate, him and Rojo, that clip that went viral, fuck me, man, it's like Tango and Cash. They are just violent. He's just snapping people left, right and centre. Fucking hell. He's just mad, isn't he? Like, Vidic was mad, but he's mad.
Yeah. He does fucking Cruyff turns in his own box against Chelsea when he's not played for 6 months.
In an FA Cup semi-final. Oh, God.
Okay. Going back to Chelsea, what on earth has gone wrong for them? Like, I'm going to throw the blame into Lampard because I don't rate him as a manager. Don't think he did anything really at Derby. Couldn't get them into the Championship. 3rd best manager in the world, Marcelo Bielsa, could get Leeds into the Championship, but Frank Lampard couldn't get him into that. Look at your face.
Honestly.
The fact that he was even nominated is a fucking joke. But no, like,
if you imagine Werner hasn't award. Can you actually imagine if he won that award? How would he how would he get on the stage and make a speech? He'd be trying to kneel down.
The fact that Hansi Flick didn't win it is a fucking disgrace.
It's a bunch of fucking bollocks politics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chelsea, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm not sure, like, I was listening to Talksport, fucking famous last words, take a drink, lads. I was listening to Talksport before, 2 fingers. I was listening to Talksport before. I'm going to have to change it, aren't I? Like, I was listening to a very popular sports media station before.
Other sports radio stations are available.
Yeah. And there was a guy on, his name rhymed with Daydream Thuram. He's on everyone at the moment for being harsh on Lampard. Like, I can't understand why people are so harsh on Lampard. They're so harsh on Lampard. Ollie, it's fair that Ollie gets praised because United have been knocked out of the Champions League. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. Like, we shouldn't have been knocked out of the Champions League. I've seen a few United fans saying we got a group of death. Come on. Even if we finish second to PSG, we should be finishing above Leipzig. We should be finishing above Leipzig. Right? I don't care what you say. The thing is, for me, it's just Champions League aside, we're talking strictly Premier League. Ollie did better than Frank last season. And, all right, you had the X factor of, he had a transfer ban, he didn't have anyone to buy and stuff. No matter what you think about that and the players that he had and stuff, all right, I'll give you that one. On paper, yeah, we had signings that we were able to get in. We were able to reinforce the squad. Chelsea weren't. And they did well to finish fourth. I'm not denying that. They did well to finish fourth last season because Leicester were pushing hard at the end of the day. But they've spent 220 million on every area of the squad. Every area. It's not like they've gone out and bought strikers and midfielders. They didn't buy any defenders or shore up the goalkeeper. They've literally covered every single area and made it better. And they're struggling. And they're now behind us on points, like you said before, with a game in hand. We've got a game in hand on them. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. One win against a top 10 team, while the other team was in the top 10 currently all season, and we're 15 games in so far, nearly halfway through the season, is not good enough. Getting pasted by Arsenal, who hadn't won a game for what feels like... I mean, Tom Hanks was on that fucking island in Castaway for less time than Arsenal sought to win a fucking game, let alone score a goal. And you're getting pasted 3-0. And Arsenal had a Aubameyang out, who is their best player. Regardless of form, he is their best player. I just don't think it's good enough. And I think it's rightly so that Frank Lampard is now starting to come under fire. I think his job is under scrutiny. And I think it's right. I don't know what you two think.
No, I agree. I mean, especially with the money he's spent. The money he's spent, Abramovich will be expecting, a far better return than what's currently. I mean, I wouldn't say actually not return. I mean, even some of the performances are just shocking. I mean, some of the games they're not even playing well. I don't know whether that's because as well he's how many signings he's actually brought in over the summer. I mean, he did bring a few in. I mean, I'll go back to Kai Havertz. I mean, 80 million. Not his biggest fan anyway, but I mean, even Werner at 40 million, he's been in and out of games. He started off slow, then he seems to play well in Champions League and the European games, cup games, but for whatever reason in the Premier League, he's not doing it at the minute.
In all competitions, he hasn't scored in his last 11 games. That's a £50 million striker, that.
Yeah. I mean, is Thiago Silva, has he been out injured recently? Thiago Silva, has that contributed to some of the...
Him and Chilwell have been the only two that have really stood out for me. Who have looked decent. But again, like, injuries, he was out for a bit. He's been back in the side recently. And Chilwell he was injured as well. But when those two play, they do look more secure. I just think they're shit, man. I just think they're really, really shit. And I think they've just got a manager that doesn't understand what he's doing. And I think for all the scrutiny that Ollie gets for it, they need to be looking south instead, because they've both been in the job exactly the same amount of time. And Ollie's taken us to what looks like a title challenge. I don't think Chelsea will finish top 4 this season.
No. They're in serious threat of dropping out, I think. Serious threat of dropping out.
I mean, I'll go back a couple of podcasts ago. They were second. They were second in the league, and I was like, they could be up there, come the end of the season. And then since then, I must have put the curse on them, because since then, I don't think they would have get. Well, they won one, haven't they? West Ham.
You tend to fucking do that, Dale. Like, you'll talk something or someone up, and then all of a sudden they have a fucking shocker. Like, I think Arsenal are going to batter Aston Villa 3-0 and Aubameyang.
I did it on the WhatsApp group, didn't I? West Brom 1-0 against Leeds. Big Sam at the wheel. Hey, it's going to pan out exactly like the Liverpool game. Nick a goal.
Fucking hell, man.
Plus
A
the tiny face. 5-0.
25-yard own goal.
Oh, that was awful, that.
You,
Just seen it then on here.
They had the audacity to ask Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank at half-time whose fault it was. I'm like, don't you fucking dare put that on the keeper.
Do you hear what he said? He was like, Christmas is gone. Well, that was a Christmas present for Leeds. I was like, oh, Jimmy, you smooth
bastard.
You
what a guy.
Smooth guy. We could be in here, lads. Are you on the same point as me? Bruno stood over a free kick.
Bruno, free kick, yeah.
Luke Shaw stood over it also.
He's just come on for Tellez, hasn't he? Seems to be a favourable switch, that, doesn't it? Game's not working. I know. Let's change the left back.
He's a bit. I tell you what. We've spoken about the tactical ineptability, or genius of Ollie at times. I don't even think he knows sometimes.
No.
I think he just does.
But you know what? He's got it right recently, so I'm not going to slate him for the time being because they're still getting the results.
It's a big point for United. Like, we'll try not to make it too United heavy because we spent quite a bit of time on us, but January window is going to be a big point for us on what we do, because it's not even in terms of who we get in; it's who we get out. Like, did you hear the news from Fabrizio Romano today?
No.
It was that Pogba is definitely leaving next summer. Definitely.
Right. I say just get rid of him now then.
Well, yeah, why aren't we cashing in him now? If you don't want to be here, then piss off.
I don't want, if he's definitely going, and he definitely wants to go, I don't want him here for another 6 months.
It's weird with Pogba, it really is, because he's capable of turning out fantastic performances. And he has turned out a couple of blinders recently.
He's not been playing bad recently.
No, he's not. But do you know, I think he does a single near a transfer window.
Yeah.
It's an odd one with Pogba because the squad like him as well. He's one of the most popular players in the dressing room, if you believe.
And I'm sure someone like Jesse Lingard is as well. I'm sure they're just great characters to have in the dressing room. But if you don't want to be here and his agent's that determined to get rid of him, sayonara.
Well, don't you think Lingard's an odd one? Because he got his goal against Leicester at the end of the season. It was like a nice little feel-good story. And has he played all season?
He played in the Carabao, I believe. I can't recall any league appearances from him.
Surely.
And the thing is, when he's played in the Carabao, and I know it's against lots of opposition, but whatever, I'm just going off you play against who you play against. He's looked decent, he's looked hungry. He's done a lot of closing down off the ball, which is what you want to see from a forward player. I still want someone like Jesse Lingard to succeed. He's someone from the youth academy. His 2017-18 season, he was brilliant. Do you remember when he just turned the Emirates into his fucking dance floor? He was untouchable that season.
Still one of my favourite evenings. That.
I think that season, I think he looked good in a pretty poor team, though. To be fair, we weren't great, and that's probably I think that's probably what it was. I mean, he probably looked great in a poor team. He did contribute a few goals and assists, but then not long after that, I think, what did he go? He went nearly a full year, was it, or just over a year without scoring again.
Rough, innit?
I think he'll, like you said, he will look good in a Leicester team. I think if he goes out on loan in January, I think we'll see a very good player for the next 6 months because he'll look good in a Leicester team.
I think where would you play him? I don't know what sort of position he's best in now.
Best in the middle, mate. I think he's best in the middle of the 10. I think he's really agile and quick on the ball. I think he shifts better in that direction. He's not a winger anymore.
No,
he's not a winger.
Is he creative enough in that spot? Like you look at you take Bruno for example, and like Van der Beek, those sort of players who could probably find a pass or two out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Even one matter.
Yeah.
For all that he lacks the pace. His footballing IQ's right up there. He knows how to find a pass.
I still think he's our most technically gifted footballer.
Listen, this is a strange word for me to say, yeah, and I'm going to try and say it without sounding like a nonce, but I hope you both understand me. The best way to describe Juan Mata is he's just an absolutely delicious footballer. Some of his play behind that front line, in between the lines of fucking attack and mid, are some of the performances this season. He's come on in games and he's just flipped them on their head. He's a great player.
You do realise that Juan Mata's older than you, therefore it can't be nonsense.
Oh, maybe I'm lying about my age. Would you be surprised? For the viewers at home, I've got a HD camera. It does me no favours. 10-8. He's just he's a fucking great footballer, I think. It's going to be a sad day when he leaves United. It's difficult. I mean, what do you do with a player like Lingard? He's not going to get in the United team. His best chance of doing anything this season is going out on loan. But who's going to take him? Where's he going to do a job?
I'd argue anyone in the bottom 11 would happily take bottom 10.
I mean, if he's got any sort of ambitions to get in the Euros, the squad for the Euros, I'm surprised he didn't go in the summer. Yeah. Not the summer, but that transfer window. If he had any aspirations of trying to get into that Euros, he would have known he needed to be playing regularly. I would have thought Ollie would have said something at the start of the season. Look, you're not going to be my starting 11. You might be on the bench or two.
Yeah.
It'd be best if you went elsewhere and try and guarantee yourself some first team football for a bit. But
using that logic, Fulham, like Loftus-Cheek and Adoma Lookman have done.
Yeah, to tell you what, Fulham, for as much as I was slating them at the start of the season, are looking good. And it's getting interesting down at the bottom now because Sheffield United are gone. Like, they're just too far. I mean, the only thing that was helping Sheffield United was the fact that outside of the bottom three, it wasn't that far ahead of them. But a loss to Burnley tonight is bad. That was a real 6 points tonight, and they had to win it.
The teams around Sheffield are all just starting to pick up points now.
Yeah.
Like West Brom are on 8, Fulham are on 11, Brighton are 13, Sheffield are on 2. Like they're all just pulling away from Sheffield.
Out of the 3 of those, Brighton, Fulham, let's face it, Sheffield United are down, like I just said. Out of the 3 of Brighton, Fulham and West Brom, I'm genuinely starting to think that Fulham might be the one that escape.
Yeah.
I think they'll be the
I'll be honest, unless a story comes out that he's done something horrific behind the scenes, I hope West Brom go down for sacking Bilic after getting a point against City.
Weird. Really fucking weird, that.
If they've just brought in Big Sam under the assumption of we just need to survive, fuck yous. Like I said about Watford last season when they got rid of Nigel Clayton with 2 games to go. With no reason to sack the manager, what are you doing?
For what? Just see the season out.
They've had some good results this season, West Brom, so far. They are exactly where they should be. Scrapping. They took a point against Chelsea, took a point against City. Would they have taken a point against Liverpool? We'll never know. We'll never know because Bilic was never given an opportunity. Don't sack your manager unless it comes out that there was a real reason why. Weird decision.
Speaking of sacking managers, can I just put in my nomination now for Dickhead of the Week?
Go on.
The Sheffield Wednesday board. This nomination has two different sort of facets to it, yeah? One, in a season where Sheffield United are as bad as they are, you have to be fucking horrific to still be the worst, most embarrassing club in that same city. Congratulations, Sheffield Wednesday. 45 days they gave Tony Pulis, and then they sacked him, saying that results weren't what they were expected. They weren't of the expected standard. He's been in a job for 45 days. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. The school summer holidays last for longer than that. He's fucking sacked him after 45 days. And he's just got 4 points in the last 2 games. Madness. Absolute madness. Top that for Dickhead of the Week.
Can you?
You can't do it. You can't do it.
I have 2 nominations. One is you for not inserting Scott Steiner in last week's podcast.
Yeah, it was a low point for me, that. I just didn't have time to get it out before the end.
It was something on Christmas Day, and he was like, I was listening, I was waiting for it, and it never came, and I was well disappointed.
I'll have to get a clip of that.
Yeah, but my other one is whoever or wherever COVID has come from in the Manchester City squad to have 5 of your players have an outbreak, and it could be more for all we know. Linking that into the Premier League as well, like, why was that game cancelled? Yet Sheffield and Burnley went ahead today after Sheffield had an outbreak. Very, very strange scenario going on there.
And Leyton Orient get thrown out of the League Cup, but we've got to wait for City to be okay again before we play them in the semi.
So once again, I feel like I've nominated them before, but COVID-19 gets my Dickhead of the Week again.
Dickhead of the century.
I know, yeah.
Go on, Dale. You throwing a nomination in, mate?
I haven't got any, mate, no.
Hey, you're smart.
I haven't got any, but purely on the fact the Sheffield Wednesday board were very impatient, I will throw my vote that way. Obviously sacking Tony Pulis after 45 minutes.
Honestly, God.
Up to half time, yeah. Sorry, boys, it's not good enough.
Honest to God, man. After what 45, 6 weeks and 3 days, they've actually sat in our boardroom and had a serious conversation of 4. It's just not working out. This.
How many games have they played in that time? Because the EFL's had loads of games cancelled as well.
They've probably
Couldn't
played
have been more than what, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Stupid. And they've had a points deduction as well, haven't they, Sheffield Wednesday this season?
Yeah.
You're already battling against it anyway. And I think it was only 6 points, which, 2 wins, it's not like crippling, is it, in terms of staying up? But fucking hell, man.
No, when you're already fighting against it, just stop making just rash decisions to put yourselves in even more danger.
But how does the future of football look? Right, I'm not to get too philosophical for a second, but we're seeing this all the time now. Like, gone are the days where, like Fergie, we always speak because we can speak from experience because it's our football club. Fergie comes down south of the border in '86 and he gets 5 years. Like, and even in 1991, he wasn't going well. And he had a couple of last chances, but that's after 5 years. Like, that's time. Do you know what I mean? And it's a little bit like Ollie now. Like, to be fair to the board, we have a shit board. We fucking hate them. We hate them, we do. But the one thing I cannot fault them for is a knee-jerk reaction after any of the poorer games that we've had over the past 12 months. Yeah. Can't fault them for that whatsoever. But our team's supposed to have a chance now. Like, Sheffield Wednesday, Watford are probably the fucking worst in the whole English football system. These boards just seem to be like this now. Roman Abramovich is one of the most famous ones. I'm shocked that Lampard's not been sacked after not being Villa, to be honest. I thought if Chelsea didn't get a result against Villa, he'd be on his last legs as far as Roman Abramovich is concerned. I think if it wasn't Frank Lampard, he'd be gone already. I don't know what you think
about that. Yeah, I was going to say that. If it wasn't for the fact that it's a Chelsea legend, but at the end of the day, does that really affect Abramovich's decision-making? Is he asked if the manager's a legend? Probably not. He brought and got rid of Jose twice.
Well, yeah, look what he did to Mourinho the second time. Fucked him right off.
And was it Gus Hiddink who brought in twice as well? Was it Hiddink? Was Ancelotti?
I know they brought in Hiddink like twice, didn't they? But Hiddink was a weird one because they never appointed him permanently, did they?
He was temporary coach.
Yeah, temporary twice. Yeah.
Yeah, like surely he took him silverware. Roberto Di Matteo won in the Europa League.
Yeah.
In Champions League.
That's to say that one.
Rafa Benitez won in the Europa League, sacked.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Di Matteo won the Champions League. Sorry, not the Europa League.
He won the fucking Champions League. Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Madness. Roberto Di Matteo. He was a banging player. Do you remember Roberto Di Matteo for Chelsea? He was a banging player. I think it was. I saw a goal. If you've never seen it, I think it's the '97 League Cup final. I don't know what it was called then. It was probably still the Worthington Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, sounds about right.
And he scored. I think he played Middlesbrough, and he scored a goal after 40 seconds, and it is an absolute banger. If you can find it. In fact, I'll try and find it on YouTube for you now. It's a screamer, mate. 40 seconds into the game. He was great playing with Di Matteo. Mm. And that was a good Chelsea squad, that. When you think of who they had in the team, they had Frank LeBuff at the back, Dennis Wise, Graham Lasso, the ratty little bastard, I hated him. Who did he have in there?
Torre Andre Flo,
yeah. Oh, Ed De Hoy in there.
Yeah, yeah.
He looked like he was 30 and 90 at the same time. He had the worst hair you've ever seen in your life.
Didn't he have Vialli as like one of the player coaches as well?
Yeah, Gianluca Vialli, 97, 98, I think. They had, because he had Hullet. I think Hullet came in after him as manager, Ruud Hullet. Mm. I'll try and find this goal for you now. I won't say
I'm just coming to it now.
Yeah, I'm behind it now. But the fact that Wolves put the ball scares me.
He's getting a bit textureless, isn't it? Half an hour left because there's not really been a lot of like clear chances. I don't think.
You know what the thing is? Like this is where Wolves kick into second and third gear. We saw them do it against Spurs the other day. Like that, I think they can feel hard done by in that Spurs game because after they scored in the first minute, they did now.
We seem to come good towards the end of the games though as well.
True. Yeah.
I mean, this game reminds me of the Everton one the other week in the cup,
where
he was getting to the last 20 minutes or so, and it's 0-0, and then just a bit of a moment of magic, put the game, in our favour, and then obviously the late one.
You know what? I had such high hopes for us in these like next few games after that Leeds and then the Everton game. The way we played them two games and like absolutely lost it. Yeah, we didn't get the goals until late against Everton. But we controlled every single aspect of that game there.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? We've got it here. With Leeds and that one, we've got it. And now, just another team that's just sat back and we look back to square one again.
I don't blame Wolves, though, because, losing him, and we've already spoke about it, losing Jimenez is a big, big, big blow for them. Huge blow. And that Fabio Silva, I mean, how old is he? 20, 21?
No, like 18, mate.
Well, yeah, there you go. Just proves the point even more. Like, it's just a lot of responsibility to lay on a young lad's shoulders. That, we've just lost our star striker. Now you're the main man.
You're already our record signing at age 18.
Exactly.
Now here's the front line.
It's a lot of pressure to place on a player that. Yeah, I'll see if you can see it.
I remember this goal straight away. Remember seeing the old Wembley pitch.
Runs through. Fuck off. That's literally about 30 seconds into the game. Imagine scoring that screamer.
Absolutely do that. Oh, here comes Martial, sulking already.
It's what footballers dream of, that, scoring a screamer in the Worthington Cup final. Fucking wanker. Oh, he's coming on now, isn't he, Fabio Silva?
He's got a lot of promise. He's got a hell of a lot of promise.
Has he even scored this season?
Yeah. Scored a penalty against Can't remember who scored the penalty against. Lovely finish. His hold-up play impresses me. Like he's got a lot of maturity as a forward already. Like he knows he's got to hold it up and he's got to link up play, and the finishing will come. I think.
Yeah, he's a strong man.
He'd only played I think he'd only started 12 games before Wolves signed him. 35 million and he only started 12 games. It's a weird one, that.
No, it's a bit of a baptism of fire, this. Because even before...
More on potential.
Yeah.
Even before Jimenez was injured, he was playing quite a lot of football.
Yeah, he was.
I tell you I like for Wolves, and it's worrying me that he's on the pitch now, Podence. He's tidy as fuck him. Who did he score that goal against? Where that touch as it come into the box.
Against Arsenal, yeah.
Mate, it was so delicate. To be under that much pressure in the box and to have the way you said it before about this word, it just made me think of you actually, Danny. We were talking about Ozil against Liverpool that time. The wherewithal to be under pressure like that and to provide a touch like that. Fucking sublime.
If he can get his end product consistent like that, you are looking at a very, very top player, because he can beat any defender in the league. I've not seen a player turn like him since Messi. The way he just spins on that ball, he is outstanding.
The first time I saw him was at the tail end of last season against Everton. I think Wolves won 3-0 and he bossed it. He bossed that game. He made Everton.
I remember watching him and he was outstanding in that game. Because I'm really sad to watch every single football game available.
It's a shame, really. I thought Wolves gave Sevilla a much better game than we did. And if Jimenez wouldn't have fucking took that really shite penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, we got on the topic of penalties the other day, didn't we?
Don't like it, mate. Don't like it. This stupid fucking run-up jump shit that Bruno and Jorginho do. I just think it's fucking... And I mean, Chelsea, I 100% believe that if he would have scored that penalty for Chelsea, I think Arsenal would have crumbled.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a very popular opinion. I think if they'd have scored that game would have ended 3-3.
Oh, yeah. Could have been even worse than that. I just think when you're a goal that light, it's one thing to do it when you're winning or you're about to go ahead, but when you're a couple of goals down, there's not long left in the game. I just think that's the time where you just got to think right, I've got to pick a spot and I've just got to fucking score this goal.
Well, he's missed his last few though, hasn't he, as well? I mean, he's not like he's been quite, confident recently in his penalties, because I think he might have missed his last 3 or 4 before that one. But you look at him, you look at Bruno. I mean, at least Bruno scores his. I'm not asked what he does. He puts the ball in the back of the net. It's fine with me. But if you start missing 2 or 3 on the bounce, then I'll be going, right, well, you either change it or you change the taker.
Yeah, well, they did change the taker. Chelsea's number 1 penalty taker now is Timo Werner. But he obviously wasn't on the pitch at the time.
Fucking, are you sure about that? Are you sure? Are you sure, Frank?
I don't care what someone does in the run-up to a penalty. If that's your technique and that's how you feel confident and you score the majority of the time, fair enough.
Is that offside?
No one likes the Pogba run-up. Is that offside?
Yeah. Offside.
Yeah.
Offside.
No one likes the Pogba run-up or the walk-up, should we say. We don't like the hop, skip and jump from Bruno and Jorginho. And some people don't like the Troy Deeney approach of just run up and fucking lever it. But if it goes...
Vardy does that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Vardy does that. He's missed a couple, to be fair, but...
Yeah. You could... Oh, is that handball?
I'm watching this now.
It won't be given anyway because they'll call Cavani offside.
Interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's actually 2 handballs in that, isn't there?
I'll tell you what, man, Cavani, as much as I fucking love him, as good as he's been at United, what are you trying to do? Your best fucking Filippo Inzaghi impression. Will you please stand on side just once?
He's been watching videotapes. Right.
There was no one like Rude, though, was there? In and around the box. Was it one goal he ever scored for us outside of the area?
Remember who it was against?
Charlton.
Good man.
Charlton.
Charlton, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was the first game after Fergie told Keano to fuck off.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because I think
we were in that blue kit, weren't we?
Yeah. I think we lost 4-1 to Borough, didn't we? Keano tore us a new one on MUTV. All that drama unfolded, and I'm pretty sure it was the first game after all that. If I can remember right, because I'm sure we won that 3-1 against Charlton at the Valley. That's their ground, isn't it, the Valley?
The Valley, yeah.
Do you know what? Don't care. Not in the Premier League anymore. Never will be ever again. Fuck off. It's boring.
When Charlton were in the Premier League, they were decent. They were like, didn't they get sixth at one point? I'm sure Alan Curvis had got them to like near sixth or something.
I don't know about sixth. I think they had 1 or 2. Oh, what a save by De Gea! What an absolute save that is. Let's see that again.
Decent.
I'm not sure if that's straight at him. You know, maybe I've just overreacted. Oh, he's offside anyway.
Yeah, it don't matter, does it? He's offside. Okay.
I'll tell you what, though, he didn't know that, did he? Oh, straight at him, to be fair. He made it look better than it was. Still a good save, though. Still had to make it. I'm getting tense, lads. 20 minutes left. Yeah, I think Charlton might have had like 1 or 2 top 10 finishes, but they never had the quality, did they? When you think of the players that they had. Kevin Lisby, Jason Ewell, Matt Alland, Paul Konchesky. Who was that twat that used to have in net? He used to wear the pants. I fucking hate when goalkeepers do that.
Was it Petty?
It might have been, yeah. What are you doing? Why are you wearing pants?
There was one that played for fucking West Brom, wasn't it? Polish lad, I think he was. What was his name? Dry, was it?
I think so, yeah. He used to always wear pants.
Fucking joggers.
Do you know what, right? I wouldn't mind so much if they were like good tracky bottoms, but they were always like a fucking pair of Donnays or something, weren't they? Like, what are you doing?
It was Primark before Primark, was it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was. You know, it wouldn't shock me at all if they wore them and they had the white plimsolls on.
It would be horrible.
I'm trying to find this Charlton goal now. Fucking Rue Van Nistelrooy.
Well, update from one of the missing 2. Disgrace foul that isn't a handball. And Telly's been on the ale. Good lad.
Cutting edge analysis from the other 2 members of 4M12. I'll tell you what, I have just found that absolutely other class goal that Van Nistelrooy scored. You know the one where he is it the one where he took it off his chest?
Against Fulham.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That one. Yeah, that one that he banged off his chest and then volleyed in.
Yeah, volleyed it on the spin. He was class, Ruud Van Nistelrooy, wasn't he? He might be the best pure striker we've ever had.
Yeah.
Marty Allman. Why is his touch so heavy?
Yeah, he did that as well, didn't he? Was it after he had that ACL injury?
Yeah.
We were going to get him a season before, weren't we? And then he was out for a complete season. And we thought, oh, that's, you know, we've missed the boat there. He might not come back the same sort of player. But, you know, you don't see that happen very often where, you know, an injury like that and then to be as prolific as he was.
Do you reckon he would have been better if he didn't have that ACL? Oh! You're going to see that now.